Next at 6, the catastrophe in Japan is raising a lot of questions about the dangers of radiation. Tonight on Live at 5, we spoke to UW Engineering's physics professor Michael Corradini about whether it's possible for nuclear radiation from Japan to spread to the United States.
And Corradini said the distance between the U.S. and Japan greatly lessens that possibility.
Even if there is a release, it dissipates and dilutes in a matter of miles to tens of miles, and so there's just nothing.
He also said he didn't think engineers expected this large of a tsunami connected with the earthquake, saying the nuclear plant survived the earthquake but not the tsunami.
The threat of more problems in Japan has some asking questions about Wisconsin's nuclear facilities and what nuclear radiation actually does.
News 3's Brad Chaimson met up with the experts today. He joins us now in the News Center with more. Brad?
Well, it really is a question on a lot of people's minds. What will happen if exposed to the radiations? Now, officials are working hard here at home to make sure that that doesn't happen.
The average person in the United States is exposed to approximately 6.2 millisieverts, which is an international unit, every year.
Exposure to radiation is an everyday part of life.
Microwaves, televisions, computer monitors, but it's a very, very small component. The biggest component is the natural background radiation from soil, cosmic rays, things like that.
But in the event of an incident at a Wisconsin nuclear power plant, Paul Schmidt helps make sure state agencies are ready to respond.
We do have very well-developed response plans, well-trained people, good response equipment capabilities, and we exercise those capabilities routinely to make sure that if something did happen, we'd be prepared to address it and assist the counties with the response.
Even low levels of radiation can lead to health problems, especially in children.
When people get exposed to radiation, there's a higher incidence of breast cancer, of blood-borne malignancies like leukemia, lymphoma, but thyroid cancer is probably the one that has the strongest link to radiation exposure.
UW surgeon Dr. Rebecca Sipple says in the years following the 1986 Chernobyl meltdown, cases of thyroid cancer in children increased tenfold. However, for now, the crisis in Japan is a different situation.
The radiation dose and the effects of all these accidents are different, and so trying to interpret the impact on the patients, I think, is varied on each experience, and I think we learned something new from each of these exposures.
Now, a handful of people have called Schmidt and asked about potassium iodide pills, which is something that's used in some extreme situations to help block radiation from being absorbed into the thyroid. Schmidt and Sipple say it's not necessary to take such precautions here, and as we just heard, there's no immediate threat here in the U.S.
All right, News 3's Brad Chaimson in our News Center. Brad, thank you very much.